You're getting there. There we go. Hello Kev, how you doing? Hello Scribes, we're on. Happy Sunday morning. You can speak. I yield.
Evening, how are we? Everybody's alright. I see P900s in the room. Evening everybody, it's quite late. It is now Sunday morning. David is quite correct.
Yes, welcome.
Hope you're all well.
Good morning, the third Sunday. That was DJ Hype scratching there with a little bit of Kung Fu sampling. I'm going to leave it low in the background. Me and brother Kev have gone through some Boots Catch chicken tikka swapping. Well, he's been sending me some classic rhythm tracks. The Groove Rider Fabio, I do believe the originators of such jungle beats. We are men of such calibre of a time where we've seen the internet invented, I believe, yes. We've seen musical genres appear out of nowhere. This is DJ Hype for those old enough to remember. 6 million ways to die, okay? I thought it was apt. The UK government, Chris Whitty, health departments all over the world, Trumps and presidents. Yeah, okay. I'll let Kev speak. I'll say hello to the room. I'll set up. I just thought synchronicity. We've had an extended cast on the .com due to present circumstances. Yes. And over to you, brother. I'll get into the room.
Thanks. Evening all. Craig, Paul, Mark, Alan. How you doing? Good to see you.
Yes.
How's things, Sandra? Everything all right? Hope so. Nice to have you in the room.
P9, when you say Sandra. Sandra, P9, easy now. No,
we're old friends.
No malice intended on that video, P9. I just thought I'd splash down. Thank you for pinning that comment. I think it's hysterical that we've been around for a while now. We've helped and we've kind of remedied, well, Kev has as well, when I say we, the royal we, and we've done some pioneering work with persons, with benefits, with contracts, with statutory rules and law, lest we not forget. You have a rule and you have law. You never have the rule of law. That is crazy. So when you submit and when you have persons and when we have acts and actors, it's the same deal, different side of the track there. So Kev, do you want to expand on any of that while I get into the room? And are you seeing the messages and the fear and the panic ensue with the hysteria? Like the Activate ravers there, I don't know what to say. Destination, Doom, MCs, Dispelling Disaster, Delivering Desire. I yield. Thank you.
Well, I must admit, with the current climate, I was expecting to be possibly a bit busier re the DWP. But maybe that's yet to come. Maybe there'll be an influx. But as I say, we've got to be protected for everything. But yeah, we have brought out some good stuff. As I say, that's all still valid. There's a lot of further stuff that's come to light since then, which I have put out there. I have told everybody about it in videos, etc. So, it's going to be interesting when everything, if it ever goes back to normal, see what Wagwan. And we shall evolve accordingly. We shall slither with the beast and cut its head off again.
I am not happy that we're getting unsubstantiated. This isn't aimed at anybody in particular, because the media formats that we manage and see and are privy to are kind of very busy with unsubstantiated, speculatory comments and concerns of And I haven't got the answer for everything. Law has got the answer for everything, and faith, biblical, prophetic, statements are quite good at the time and reassuring, as we saw with Ephesians and the armor, the shield, the belt, and that one will never go away. That's a very good one to use. But I will go through some of the posts that we've done recently to help you see clarity, know thyself, and what go on in Babylon. We've known for a long time how the government interface, how they speak, who they speak to, the people, not to man, instruments and the style. So nothing's really changed here other than the fear factor and the levels of M1 being closed southbound for roadworks. All right, okay. And don't wear a mask, do wear a mask. And we're doing this, we're doing that, we've got this, we've got that, and don't go out, but do go out. Only essential workers. The video on Unscrambled, that the ladies there for 4 minutes doing that news report, that's fantastic. That's exactly how we felt in the beginning week or two when Boris came out and said 80% will be affected. It's going to be bad and blah, blah, blah. And then we had Chris Whitty appear, and we had all of these scientific principles and, wearing a mask, not wearing a mask, what they're saying, mandatory now. And we got some mandates coming up for this. So we haven't got any criticism for you, the scribes. And I appreciate we are in a time where we need to look at what go on and make a decision as a fan. But protest down south in London, I believe there's been said what we can do there. We got Ike sensationalize it with London real, and we got the sensationalizing there. So Kev, do you want to put any comments in before I move on?
Yes, mate. Sorry, was just keeping an eye on the room.
Say hello, yeah, and welcome. Good morning to the crew.
Good morning. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, forgot about that. It is actually morning. Sorry, Dave. What did you just say?
Hello, P9 and Craig, Chippy, Alan,
yeah.
Mark. I'm just going to say what in the room, then. You see the room?
Simon. Yeah, Simon. Steve H. Quinn. Hello, mate. Go mad. I think. Let me go. Oh, let me go backward. Safe. How you doing? Nice to see you.
I am on the electric cigarette for the time being. I've the abscess has subsided. I got.
That's better. Better than the other one, mate.
Yeah, I've got hundreds of messages coming through. I'm making 40 to 60 phone calls, or taking and making a lot of phone calls, managing the Facebook domain with Kev, sharing and writing prolific speeches there, trying to contact and do podcasts. I've got ganders under the belt. I'm after a couple more with a few brothers and sisters that are in the pipeline. There's writings of Last Will and Testament that's now on its way to be checked by somebody who is proficient in Last Will and Testamentary documentation. The idea there is for the 2.4 common family, common law, man and wife, equivalent common law, man and wife, and 2 children and an animal, 2.4, and we'd like to try and protect, I think, therefore I am, not so much asset protection, but family estate, biological protection there. So we've got a lot going off, so I should recognise the severity, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to in this new world order that is appearing before our very eyes, and coming out the other side in a new economy, a new emergence of, and these times are quite biblical, prophetic, prolific. Hence the post that we've made, and all of your comments, questions and that. We'd like to hear from you, what your thoughts are. What is it, Brian Rose and David Icke tomorrow, the sensationalisation of this and what's happening.
Yes.
Wow, go on, I'll leave it there and I'll get some pages up.
Well, that's the thing. So who's interviewing him tomorrow? Brian Rose?
It might be. That's what I've just said on the .com. I've only just learnt of this. 3 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay.
Everybody's sharing the fact that we've got another sensational video to be coming.
Well, it's been blanked everywhere, so it's going to be super hype, isn't it?
Hype. DJ Hype, give me the funk. That's another 6 million ways to die. I couldn't have got more on point than that, I don't think. Carry on, Kev.
Yeah, I mean, same again. You know, he's a bit cold. There's no remedy, is there? There's no hope in the message that he gives. But yeah, he's been quite accurate in stuff he said, though. But is he controlled opposition? You know, who knows?
Well,
Dave's having it.
We got rules, we got law. So you either follow a rule or you follow law. And Kirk, that I found through Crow 777, that I've just befriended, as if you could call it that, on the Book of Faces. I've got a declaration that is written I'd like to read out, and I'd like to try and get a podcast with this man. It appears some of the fam on the .com know of him. I've not heard of him until very recent, and so he's new to me. Introduced by Crow 777, the zygote, as we say it, as I say it, and the conception there, the spark. We've got the dates of. Good night, my queen. I'll try to be a bit quiet for you. We've got the dates of born date or birth. We've got the registration. We've got christening. And we've got death. So there's 4 there, and we're adding a 5th. And the way that we look at it, the way that we see it, is changing every day, every week. Instruments, languages, and positioning. So what I do know is, if you are a person, you're in trouble. If you claim a name, a date of birth, if you volunteer anything, if you get a text message and it says, "Oh, press this embedded link and talk to us," you know. I've had a few of them, and I know others that have, and I haven't pressed that link. I don't believe I need to. I've just cured an abscess that was there. I showed you the other week. I know it's not particularly beautiful, but that wobbly tooth is coming out soon, and it's dead. And yeah, we've got the GANs on there. I'm not here to give medical advice, but I'm extremely proud as a young fool, young as in I'm not that old, but middle-aged fool then. All right, I hear you. And silver waters, herbs, minerals, alchemy, all that we're doing here. I don't believe that I would like to contract, and I'd like to respectfully decline. What's in there is not pure, but it's not going to have things in it that I don't wish to have in it. We've got a mandate for certain proposals. These are the same institutions, lest we not forget, that stood in front of Congress, no less. Oh yes, jobless. No, not jobless, because they said tobacco, cigarettes, nicotine is not addictive, and tobacco doesn't cause cancer. Okay then, right, and these are the same institutions that say that they can treat cancer successfully with a system of chemo and radiotherapy that's only 95% effective, fam. Now, if SpaceX, Tesla, Ford, Maserati, Ferrari, etc. made an iron horse that was only 95% effective, how long would that be in production before they stopped making it? But because this is a different form, a profitable, you know, like the laws that we've found and justice, if that becomes profitable, then we got to stop that, because that's wrong. And there are other ways and means. We'll go to the hospital in Beijing, brought to you by Greg Braden, and the speech at the Milano talk about 2011. 3 minutes, cancer cured, no medicine. And the Reiki doctors, the masters, search YouTube now. I don't know if it's been deleted. I have a backup copy of it. The claim was hospital in Beijing, cancer cured in 3 minutes. Greg Braden, the divine matrix there. There are others that we've mentioned that talk about many things. David Icke was on the video saying that chair you sat on, it's not even physical. It's made of empty atoms. So reality is an illusion. Medicine, chief scientific officers, Rockefeller Medical Institution, lying in front of Congress and tobacco companies, and the way that we've got drugs and food and medicine. Enough is enough. And man has woken up, I do believe. I'm going to yield there. I've given you enough of my feelings. Kev, have you got anything you want to say? I'll go to the
well, funny enough, I was going to say some, about the Ike thing. Albert's just made a comment. I've seen that sort of all day, Albert. I haven't bothered going and looking, but I've seen other people's comments that have said they've gone, and it says it's. Some people are getting a message saying it's not available, and others are saying it just wasn't there at all. So seems the consensus is it's right. Now Sandra says it's gone there.
I heard it.
So what does that tell you? Not being funny. I mean, it's not helping their cause, is it? I mean, if it's bollocks, why bother with it? So they're just making a rod for their own backs, or it's all part of the game.
I'm going to try and find out President Trump's officer that wants to speak about him in a negative way. It seems that we've got a president and a prime minister, in effect, Trump and Boris, that are in a position that they're both unqualified to be in my opinion. Okay, I've got a freedom of speech. The Trump administration has barred the top US disease experts. So just check this. I'll put the link into the feed, because that's what we do. I don't know how long the feed will be there. I've got some locally embedded agents on my account, and they don't like what we're putting out and how we're putting it out. The original Dizzy Rascal, and on the other end there we've got the original Nutter, okay, in the form of Legend of Kev. And the Trump administration has barred the US top US disease expert from speaking freely to the public after he warned the coronavirus may be impossible to contain. This is just one of many stories. So President Donald Trump's administration barring that expert on infectious diseases, not just anybody, out about the control of the coronavirus outbreak. Without explicit permission from the White House, the New York Times reported on Thursday in an apparent bid to stop contradictory messages about this health crisis. So what we're getting at is, Trump announced that Vice President Mike Pence, who has faced criticism for his handling on the HIV outbreak as Indiana governor, would lead US efforts to spread the halt of the illness, and that Pence would rely on report directly to Trump. So we've got doctors and people here. I'm skimming through. You can find out more now. I'm looking for the man's name, but they have control, and a bit like what we're seeing with Ike's channel being deleted. There's a controlled methodology there, isn't there, and a narrative. This is just one source for you to have a look at that I've found. The link's too big. All right then. So just you'll have to search Trump administration barred top US disease expert speaking freely coronavirus, and that will give you some links there. I'll try and find another shorter one. So in England, we've got chief scientific and medical experts telling us about viruses that are diseases, and that's hilarious in itself. They don't know what it is. They say the Chinese virus, it may have started in Wuhan, China, but who says it was made there? We've got conflicting evidences and books and things, and pre-telling prophecies of. Very, very strange, isn't it? My daughter came down and said, what is the name of the island in that Disney film? I forget what the Disney film is now. It's on my channel's comments, and I'm like, I don't know. And it's linked with stories of corona in itself, madness, Netflix putting out things to do with end of the world, prophecies on series and programming, man, before it actually happens. I watched a film called Abigail 2019, which is quite shocking, about borders, containment and viruses and so forth. Just last year, we get to see certain things that make us think, don't we? We call it karmic retribution, truth in plain sight. So these control measures of mass media, global deception there, it's very dark and sickening that they can come out and say and do what they want and control it. But our freedom of speech that our forefathers have fought for so long, blood, lineage. We was talking about the battles of the Somme and the poor little Shizens that got off. Well, they're not the good little angels, but they've gone to war and it's a bit of black humour where they get off the boat and they jump straight in the sea and submerged and drowned because the army couldn't even get the landing properly, coordinated, which rendered in unnecessary deaths. And the ones that did make it to the land, most of them got shot straight away by the defending French natives there. So war in itself, that veteran that's raised so many hundreds of thousands, millions of pounds for walking around his yard and whatnot, and he's become a major at 100. Well, that man's gone and killed. That man's gone against God, but yet we're going to celebrate him, and he's done well for the empire, so he will be celebrated, won't he? We can't speak freely and say things because we get filtered and we get legally liable for it. But it's a one-sided battle here, and truth is not as it used to be. What our forefathers have fought for, independence and freedom. I'll yield there, and we'll read the room and comment, Kev, because I'm already off. I'll breathe and find that Disney reference I want to give you. Yeah.
I'll just run back a little bit in the room if it will let me. Here we go. Rewind selector. Thank you. Very nice of you. How did the bananas go, Dave?
Very good. I'm going to do some more before we go. I've bought loads more. I've got some more GANs here to sort it. I've had a hangout with Anders. I've got some more information coming for you on a premiere tomorrow. The girls, they ate them, so I bought lots. These are just for the girls, and I've got some for me sen. So we're going bananas. A man's going ape, and soon we go bananas. So I'd like you all to partake in a bit of this. Those that have got one of them test tubes. If you're not going to use it to make bracelets such as, we'll do that later. Tomorrow is the GANs day. For the GANs fans, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, and I joined the golden age of GANs on Facebook. Thank you for that. That's going to be good.
Mensa, how you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, David's special liquid.
It's Gansders. It's the Gansder man.
Ollies, how are you? Yes, I. Wagwan.
Point of note, principles and precedents. Airborne diseases and biological pathogens usually take the path of least resistance. Occam's razor, also called law of economy or law of parsimony. Principle, William of Ockham, 1285 to 1347 and 49. Pluritas non est poneda sine necessitat. Plurality should not be posited without necessity. See my channel community, it's where I'm getting it from. I've given you this already. I put it on Facebook because I'm concerned about the window of the eyes. That's a
posh way of saying keep it simple, stupid.
If you have a quality face mask, no leaks around your mouth and nasal passages, what is there exposed? Hello. And what is there in the air? I'll leave it there.
Can you see what the problem is here?
These alleged biological particles then enter via other human orifices, such as eyes and ears, or blood-rich orifices, or even a cut or an abrasion, an open wound. Okay, I'm not medically advising here. I'm giving my opinion on stuff. These are 3 or 4 of the male or female areas, that they could get in. So from scientific studies, as a self-scholar, Iron Man David thought about this. It's crazy, it really is. So this is a picture on my channel, and it's attributed to the English Franciscan. We've done works on Franciscan friars, introduced to me by Santos Bonacci, and it's William of Ockham, 1287, a scholastic philosopher and theologian. So the path of least resistance would be the eye. If the mask and the nose is just crazy. So I'll carry on and you can read the room, Kev, while I find some more interesting bits.
Yeah, Ockham's not that very far from here, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's about, bloody hell, no more than 10 miles, if that. Who's JJ? Jesus is in the room. How you doing? I just was going to look at Mensa's comment, which has now just slipped off the screen because that's. Oh, come on, you. Thank you.
Let me go back up.
Sorry, don't know what's going on there. Mensa just said something I wanted to pick up on.
That's all right, we'll go back to that. Yeah, we'll go back to that. It is made for Disney. While you're looking for that, it's here. What was the name of the kingdom in Tangled? In Tangled. So there's a kingdom. Yanka come down. I love this. 13-year-old daughter of mine. She's if I was to be no longer here for whatever reason, I think Yanka would look after her mum quite adequately. She comes out with some fantastic things. These are from chats while she's playing on the laptop with a headset and mic, and they're doing these games that they're playing. I won't say them all, but yeah, she's into them. And they're chatting intelligently about life whilst they're going through the 3D mazes of Fortnite and whatnot. So the fans, the little ones, have noticed yours and mine assets and young stars are chatting about the similarities in the 2010 film Tangled and the coronavirus. Would you believe it? I wouldn't, but here we go. So it's sweeping the globe now, and people want to know, what is the name of the kingdom in Tangled? Corona is that question. Much like Abigail, I mentioned in the film and Netflix and that series there. Too much close for similarity. I've got a lot to bring you tonight with the theme of what we're on, so please bear with. The question was a top search.
Towers.
No, not at this time. The king will tell us when it's time, all right? The question was a top search on Friday, with thousands of people fleeing to the internet only to learn that the name of Rapunzel's kingdom is in fact the same as the virus. So just bear in mind, on SPO's Pro, we've hosted Space Cowboys Danny Boyle 2012 Olympics there, and the controversy with that and whatnot. That's in itself is just open for debate there. If you haven't seen it, you can go and watch it for free, and you can also see it on BitChute where Space Cowboy has put it, and I've given you the links before in the last Saturday's video where we got called liars and pagans, I might add. So the question was that in the kingdom name, Rapunzel's kingdom is in fact the name as the virus. So on Twitter, somebody has wrote for the lyrics for Tangled joke that he did not predict the corona pandemic. I think it was Glenn Slatter. He wrote, just want to say I don't sell any stocks based on disinformation. Thousands of social media users have likened Rapunzel's life trapped in a tower to being in quarantine. And Twitter users wrote, entangled, Rapunzel is trapped in a tower, quarantine, and hidden from the kingdom of Corona. Did anybody else realise this? Another wrote, Corona is the name of the kingdom in the Disney film Tangled, where Rapunzel was forced to social distances by her mother. Thanks, Disney. Yeah, not only did Disney give man unrealistic life expectations by promising me a princess, I've got a queen now. I had to wait till I was 40 and be chewed up and spat out before I found that. So Disney, you gave us unrealistic life expectations and bullshit there, I'm afraid. I got up into the real world and kicked out at home at 15. No castle, no love, no nothing. I was on the cold hard streets in a halfway house. So, that's just me. And Eminem and a few of you, I suppose, and Disney in itself, this tower, social distancing. Another's added, Corona is an island kingdom and the birthplace of Rapunzel in Disney 2010 animated feature film Tangled. After a significant period of isolation is also where Rapunzel met her future husband Prince. And just saying, so that's all over the internet for you to find, and that comes from Little Yanka, bless, I yield.
Amazing, isn't it?
You found
all in plain sight.
You find his comment, Menza? Yeah, man. Even in the children's stuff.
Oh yes, I did scroll back. I've even highlighted it there. That he was just saying his opinion was, the virus is nothing really, which I have to agree with. It's a distraction. Oh bloody hell! What is wrong with this thing?
Do you know?
Sorry, people.
Apocalypse.
I'm having trouble.
I'll get into the room in a minute. We'll read them in a bit, Kev, if you want to concentrate on that, and I'll read some things out. And I've got an objective here whilst we're fresh and young, and before we get into twat o'clock, if I may.
Young, speak for yourself.
Young, the hour.
Yes,
the
off
hour.
you go. Crack on.
That one there, look. So, apocalypse. What is that? The Greek meaning is one of the same for both words, where you've got, apocalypse and revelation. We've got biblical scholars, biblical times, and proclamations of prophecies and legacies that we're going to fulfill here. And it means revelation, disclosure. Revelation, apocalypse is also revelation. Check the Greek translations. Uncover, reveal. And then in an English dictionary, such as Webster's or Merriam's and that, you can check out as well. For those across the pond, Collins, Oxford, Anglo, many types you should look at there. And if you look at the title page to a 1982 Holman Bible, King James Version, it reads, The Revelation to John. And that would be entitled Apocalypse. So Revelation and Apocalypse is referenced as the same, one or the other. The Revelation to John, the Apocalypse, okay? So you look at the KJV 1982 Holman Bible that's in my mother's Bible, that was my grandmother's, the book there. And in today's vernacular account, the Lord Jesus Christ gave himself to the church or the kirk and the events that will occur at this end stage. And we hear in the book of Revelation, man's mind races till the last days, end of age and time, coupled with doom, gloom and disaster. We are the DJs and MCs of that at this moment. 6 million ways to die, and there's a few ways you can live, and it will involve the strength of law. End of the age and time, we've got Aquarius 2025 upon us coming, and Jesus instructed all believers to read here and heed the words of this uncovering. Jesus's half brother, Jude, there as well, has got a very interesting verse. And about these, also Enoch in the 7th generation from Adam prophesied, saying, Behold, the Lord came with many thousands of his holy ones to execute judgment upon all. And that would be Jude verse 1, chapter 14 to 15. If we consult biblical timelines, we see Adam lived around 4000 BC. Okay, I can't prove that, we find that. The 7th generation from Adam would put Enoch living somewhere around 3300 BC, before the flood. And according to Jude, Enoch was already prophesying about the apocalypse over 5,300 years ago. What? This may become a resource for many seeking to understand if the coronavirus pandemic is an end times plague. We hope that it can direct you towards scriptural truths about plagues in a study of the book of Revelation. And it's not just Smithy and Co. that has looked at this. A lot of mans have looked at this. I have copies and books of it. I looked at the Bibles and certain bits of comparisons to law before Smithy came on the scene. Smithy did help do quite a lot there and expose in his own way. We all have our own way and our own understanding, and certain things stick out more so than others. We need to join up and smell the coffee percolating there to some extent. We've looked at Constantine, and when the New World translation of the Bible was written, and how that was written. We can look at the Old Testament, we can look at the Torah. I do like looking at the Torah, not the Talmud, and I like looking at the Zoroaster all the way forward as we've brought to you. So I'm going to yield there and say, forgive us for we know not what we do sometimes.
Anders, good evening. How are you, mate? Hope all's well.
Just go and say hello, yeah. I'll get in there too, Kev.
Yeah, mate. I'm just having a look back through. Mine keeps refreshing just as I'm about to say something. It refreshes on its own, and then I lose the comment.
All right then. Well, I've got the laptop on. I'm going to go from about the top and say to Bert and to Quinn is in the house. Much love. I spoke to me and Kevin Quinn are very lucky to be able to be blessed with this man and this scribe here. We send love and respect to your first brother. And I haven't looked at any videos on Quinn's channel. I'm going to delight in doing that next week. Quantum grammar there and parser syntax. Thank you for that offer, Quinn. I'm very excited. You've said hello to Menza, Chippy Paul, P9, Simon. We're speaking tomorrow, Simon. I did text you and you picked it up late, so we'll catch that trip tomorrow about the references you've given me there. All is a tongue. Oi, oi, Savaloy, what go on, Dread? Yes, I, Rastafari, you feeling that vibration? Yes, Kev. Who else
Yeah, nice.
Who else? Alan of the Blair clan. Yeah, we got him. Save 7, I heard you say them earlier. JJ, we're getting there. I'm halfway down then. Who else we got? Anders, you've said. I think that's it. I think we're all in there. Lisa, there we go. Lisa.
Just me. Good evening. I think that's the only... Oh, Lisa. Hello, Lisa. How are we? Hope everybody's alright.
Peter Piper picked a pickle pepper. Yes, the picker Peter Piper picked was in propria persona. Kev, I can't wait till we have a mix.
Yeah, we can't find a way of doing it back to back. Both broadcasts at the same time.
Yeah, me and Anders have spent 5 hours across 2 days to give you 2 half-an-hour videos. It's incredible. 1 minute the technology is working fine. The next minute, certain things I can't tell you on here what we said, but Anders, that was incredible.
Being jerked with.
He said a certain word and it just cut off. My laptop shut down and the home internet actually reset. We had a little laugh with it all. It's not doom and gloom, but we've got some cutting edge claims that we won't make in public, that we reserve to the private, but we was trying to bring a public cast out about the benefits of private sovereign initiate man's sciences, Keshe, a Horror Master, a correction of that for Zoroastrianism. You will see in the historical antiquities, a man with wings out and a circle around him, that would be a Horror Master, I'm led to believe, and so we found, I did say that was Zoroaster around that time, creating the Zoroastrianism, then the Horror Master is the circled man with the wings that was flying around, buzzing his head, you know, like the Vimanas of India and so forth. So what we're talking atomic and so forth, these governments and scientific officers and World Health Organizations, those institutions that say nicotine is non-addictive, you know, and here I am having to use this electronic thing. I've not had any cigarettes for at least a week. I've not had any ganja, as you can tell. I would like some, but I'm not having any. And no alcohol, no tablets for the abscess. The pain is gone. This technology is here, and what we've got is highly controversial. I don't want to make claims, but what I will tell you is testification. You know, like when somebody says, saw a UFO yesterday, but I didn't have my phone on me, but yet they'll end up in the documentary testifying, and with no evidences, and they go under the lie machine, and the blood and the heart rates are taken, and they work out if it's likely to be true or not, much like what the 5-0 do when they interview you for certain crimes. So or the federal agency do, to work out if you're lying before they hang you for something. So I can testify and we can get you to testify as you have done with certain other things. So we're in a remarkable age, and this system, I've got something to read you going over in a bit about my worries of where we're going with technology and drones and cameras and people having their temperatures read and certain things. It's getting quite scary. I wrote something at 5:30 this morning when I was giving you Latin for breakfast on all formats of Twitter, Tube and Facebook. So I got something of a concern there. We are going into the Sovereign Masters Guild merit level. We've done the foundation and we've done the publications. We're going to go into digital media and how to keep smart, how we keep smart, I say that after today's fiasco with Anders and I not being able to keep a stable connection, but some things are beyond our control and other things are well within our control. So we accept that, and we can help you in many ways, but we're going to go strictly private on some of this because Satan's agents are targeting this brother and my works and studies, because I think they're a bit peeved that what Kev's done, the work there, him and Graham, what we're doing, it's giving away a last will and testament, power of attorney, information, what did we say, unilateral non-disclosure agreement, certain things that, over to you, Kev, please.
POA. There's a few things that they're going to be sorted out in the next few days. That's the plan. POA, I think that might be a good idea for some people to consider with the current climate, just so if you're deemed to be whatever, somebody else is already in place to make the decisions, etc. There's the document to go with the videos that David and I did a couple of weeks ago, was it?
Castle
Seems like
Defense,
an age ago now.
Yeah, we got them Castle Defender packs, text script to bring you.
Yeah, that's coming out. I've got the declaration that needs. I've nearly finished adjusting that. I've got one thing to clarify with Dave, and that should be done. So all of this is over the next few days. We'll get this stuff to you. So it's busy.
With power of attorney, we can just say that you have to be careful with that.
Yeah.
General, lasting and full. You kind of being a trustee when you take that on, because you're controlling someone's estate. So I wouldn't want to take Kev's, and I wouldn't want Kev to take mine. Strictly, we know each other, we're good brothers, and we have trust and faith, but there's a lot of responsibility there. So if you have an uncle, a brother, a family member that's blood, then you would generally assign, you've got general, lasting and full powers of attorney. You've got your last will and testament established and expressed. You slip on the ice, you bang your head, you can't manage your estate, you're in a common law relationship, you're not ecclesia bonded as the man, Mr. and Mrs. under the church. So you're separate in law, but you're together, but you're separate in law, but you're together as common law man and wife. You've got your last will and testament, you haven't passed away and given up the ghost, so your will isn't going to come into effect and play to protect you, and you haven't got any recognition legally, but you have in common law. So we've got a little bit of a bridge to gap here, and what we're saying is you would have that separate document for your power of attorney then, because the will doesn't come in, and you've got your woman in, and you've got your man in, or the man and the woman and the woman, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It can be works for all 2.4 common law families, and even if you're married, legally, ecclesially bonded, it will work still, but you're not dead. You're incapacitated, and you're in a coma, and you've lost all, compos mentis derivative power of. So then who's going to manage the blood, the bills, the estate? Not I, not Kev. It would be someone who has that assigned authority or power of attorney to speak up, because without that in play and your will not coming into effect, you're still left open in a way. So you would want that assignment of kind of trustee, because if you're going out somewhere and you're in hospital and you're not there and you've got assets, offspring, etc. to be looked after, your records, your tapes, everything about the rent, the car payments or whatever it is, feeding the horse, as we say. Kev, do you want to expand a bit more on any of that before? Anything else? I don't know.
Most of it's covered. I say power of attorney, you do have to be careful with that. But as I say, that should be going to people that know what your wishes are, know what the best thing for you is in the worst case scenario. As I say, I think you should have a few in place just in case. You see what I mean? So it goes to number one first. Something happens to them, it'll be the next person. But as I say, you have to be careful. But you can. It is a custom thing as well. It's not like we're proposing that you give. Sign everything over should you be incapacitated or otherwise. You can pick and choose what the roles are and the scope of those positions, if you like. But yes, it is a liability. Absolutely, it is a liability.
So you want to keep it in the farm and you want to express that and make sure that they understand, and maybe you might want a couple in play, not just one, because it depends on age and distance and so forth. And it's good to have a few. Authority to act is different. We get authority to act and speak on. If we were one of us was to help you, we would become authorized to speak on that in that level for you. So that would help as well with the assignment of authority. But that isn't so much in everything. You see, each specific area we'd need authority. Whereas if you had the POA set up and you go to your filing cabinet and prove you've got assignments and expressions of and trusts in place, last will and testament trusts, and your power of attorney, then your family members, your uncle, your brother, your sister, a couple of them. So if one's not available, you can have a list, it doesn't matter, of a few, and you've got your witnesses and you're signed up and that. Autographs, it's what we do, equivalent of signing. So we're very proud and happy to be able to walk you through this and give you this if you'd like it. There's a lot going off though. You will have to do something, and you will have to come with us and get into the flow and learn, as we would say, and then you can make your own decision. No legal advice here. There's disclaimers to come, And the will is getting checked by a brother called Richard. I'll leave it there. I've sent it to him, so it's not just out of my and the realm of. It's coming from us, and then it's getting checked, so it will stand and it will be checked by somebody whose profession is that way inclined. All right, and we're paying for that. He's giving us a discount rate, but he's still going to offer a webinar and a document checking, and the trust will fork all that out, and you can go anywhere you want and get this done. So you've got to express your will, and that will kind of protect you, because God is not a respecter of persons, and man has a will and thinks. So where we're all looking for life and live life claims and pots of gold, we've got to bring back to the estate here the biological, the tripart, and we'll progress forward from that. So I'll leave it there. Hope that makes sense.
No respecter of persons.
Acts and statutes.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, those rules and what they're saying, it's hilarious in a way.
In fact, look at these acts, at the moment, the Coronavirus Act and all the rest of it, it's all persons. Persons. That's what's mentioned. So just send your certificate round to get jabbed. But it's in the language. It's right there.
This is what I wrote the other day, the other morning, about there's a new empire looming on the scene, and I don't take pleasure in reading this. It was something that came to me at 5 o'clock this morning. I took our lass to go into the warehouse. She got up at 4. I was out the house with her at 4:30. She clocked on at 5 a.m. bless her, She's just gone to bed actually at 1 a.m. So that's what kind of a strength of a girl I have, of a queen. She was up at 4 a.m. 4 p.m. is 12 hours, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 20 and a half hours. Woman's going to bed. She don't do that every day, but she's a real strong iron lady. As far as I'm concerned, I'm very lucky to have a strong lady like that. So I'm going to protect her as much as I can, and you and Yanka, against this dark shadow empire looming, looking to take control over the skin at the minute. The drones are above, and the apps are in your lap. The tags on your wag, on your dog as well. The cameras are looking into every step in the street via your feet. All eyes are on me at the moment. Satan's eyes, your eyes, and many eyes, Facebook's eyes, Tube's eyes, everywhere around, and that's fine. But they're not under my skin at this moment in time, okay? Bear with me. So the coming next technology will be looking under your skin, I do believe, from what I'm hearing and seeing, and what these apps are doing. It is, going to get under your skin, maybe, what I'm about to say, as in the expression now. Information and data empires are what I see, David, the man, sees coming via sanctioned artificial intelligence. These corpses, Cambridge Analytica, that's why we deleted the profile and I went the way that I did. I was sickened by the fact that Bloodman has become a target. Facebook became an area for algorithms to be practiced, a bit like what's happened with Alibaba in China, how much data that corporation, I'm not advertising, it's true, it's one of the biggest data handling corpses in the realm. For China, it holds more data commercially, data-wise, that is, on customers and addresses and names and shopping, than the actual Chinese government itself, so I believe, and so a few of others have discussed with me. Corpses, AI and businesses is where we're at, all right? So counterintuitively, this is being discussed, not to fear. And after the Cambridge Analytica fiasco and Congress having Zuckerberg go there, I don't believe anybody in Britain or the English Parliament, UK, as it is, called him over to answer for anything, or he paid. I believe he's done his job. And this is metadata, META. This is part of our second tierage now of the Masters Guild for Protection in Internet Digital Safety. The metadata is lifted from aspects of our experiences, handsets, laptops, and media devices. These algorithms have been designed to control man, as I see it, and as a lot of you do. Imagine we're in 1930s and we're asked to predict the future in the 2000 year. It would be a bleak prediction, I believe, of industrial serfs run by a few elite oligarchs and a society with no welfare institutions and rights. A dim, grim time in the 1930s. Those of you that know the history there, the wars that were about to begin and the dictatorships at hand. So that's why I've written that there. We've got now newly proposed legislative regulatory paradigms that are coming in place. These are the rules. And remember, I said law. They are separate. Rule of law, sovereign and citizen, etc. And we're going to try and shield man with law against the rule and the policy. That's simply all I'm proposing here. We're proposing, and as we have done already up to press quite well and successfully. So we're going to consider using certain new chat apps that are a bit safer than Facebook Messenger and Facebook's WhatsApp, like Telegram, Wicker, and Signal, Telegram and Wicker. Yeah, that's what I've put there, and I do believe they are encrypted at the moment still. So next week, SPLS Pro's quarterly email that will help explain all of this in more depth. I've asked you to email contact@splspro.com. I'm doing a lot of this work myself. I've already done it with others like Santos, ULOT and G-Star, and we do it every day, running multiple platforms, PayPals and accounts and websites, and being media smart and not getting ripped off. We're not 100% protective. I haven't got wings of shield of steel that can protect you from bullets, I'm afraid, but we've got the armor of God, which is the next best thing. in addition to this secondary supplementary, level of protection. So I'll continue on. I'm getting to the end. You need to consider seriously, if you're not on our domain and you're not on the Facebook domain, then to contact us, and we will give this to you all for free, and you can take it and share and then put it on your places and do what you wish with it, because you can't copyright, protection law and rights. It's just how you find it and who gives it you. And if they ask you to pay £30 a month or something for 2 years before they allow you to fully have it, or sorry Kev, but that's the conversation we had earlier about another place that apparently have the administrative remedy that they want you to pay £30 a month for 2 years before you're completely ready to have it. We won't do that to you. We'll give it you now. This isn't dangerous. You just need to know that there will be a disclaimer, and we'll help you privately through private avenues understand this before you can fully use it properly, I suppose. So these assets that we're creating now, the legacy that we're starting to build in man's desperation, we have a plan, and soon the empire, it wants to get inside your heads. 666 patent 060606. Please go and check on DuckDuckGo. And BIL, Bill, and G8s, and Bible being foretold. Now the body temperature and the heart rate and the biometrics data is looking to be monitored soon and collected, if you consent to that or if you don't. So what happens when you monitor temperature, heart rate and biometrics? A bit like when I said I've seen a UFO and the window, where else would it be? So I've seen a UFO, but I haven't got evidence. How do they know you're telling the truth? How do they know how I'm feeling inside? If I'm calm, rarely. I'm passionate, I know, but you'd have biorhythms that would be indicative, and a heart rate of a slow, and calm if you're telling the truth. If you're starting to lie, they can use these readouts basically, and they've mastered them in MK and Tavistock and DARPA and whatnot, as we've brought to you, and Congress have brought to you, and Clinton apologized in 1995, subsequently sometime after the 1974 New York Times release of this experiment on the unknown public there, and Clinton again coming in the 95s, Diane Jesse Miller, One by One, the theme in that, Rick Mail and his message. I'll leave it there. So 666, Bill Gates, the Bible being foretold, the beast system, Josh X, thank you brother, and the management of that. We see that the body temp, the heart rate and the biometrics data looking to be collected next. Who's collecting that? What's it being used for? Why would you collect that? Oh, it's because of a virus, apparently. That's a disease that isn't a virus, that we're not sure even if it's there. We know something's going on. So that'll probably be Matthew in Sheffield. I'll call you in a minute, brother. We have a mission and then we're going to get you on. This is how I want to do it, if that's all right. To look in a man's biorhythm being monitored by secret police, such as Israeli data agencies. That's right, I said Israeli data agencies, aka the secret police. Fact checked, all right? Fact checkers, agents of this channel, YouTube, yes. I don't lie, I can prove it. I won't get the links now because you're going to remove them anyway. And then, so go and get it yourself, fam. I'm getting to the end. I hope you're enjoying this. It took me a while, and it's one of the best pieces that I've written articulately and concisely with a message in it. So freedom and rights that our bloodlines fought for, this land, these great wars that I'm on about, these dictatorships that we've sunk allegedly on Project Paperclip, 14 Nazi scientists being tried. Search Nuremberg, have a look at how many of these Nazi Reich murderers were tried at that Nuremberg trial. You'll be surprised to find it's about 14. The rest went somewhere else. And yes, okay. So sorry, agents of YouTube, but now is the time. Kev, please don't fall asleep. I'm getting to the end. I'm joking. It's too late to make a change, is it? No, it isn't. In God we trust. And you don't need to join splspro.com. You can come on Facebook and you can see us there. We're going to use laws to curb the empire of control, spelt with a K there. This will only be the new norm, what I've proposed above, if you let it be and you consent to that as a person by suspending the the norms and the laws via mass panic and hysteria. So fear and uncertainty are not aspects we at SPL's Pro and Indie on this channel and these scribes do like to chew on, but we do it for the love of our clan and fam. And that's all I'm going to say there. Kev, have you got out you'd like to interject with? Don't tell me you fell asleep. Shabba. Now then, rude boy, you better be waking up and kick your ass. He's gone. Look at that, HU. That's a first, isn't it? The living legends fell asleep on us. What? Let me ring him up. That's magical. Let's get a bit more first. You alright, Kev? You had a hard day, love? You know, Matthew from Sheffield on. We're going to have a threesome here. I've advertised a threesome, a trinity. Bless him. It's like mini Darth Vader, isn't he? I won't ring him back. Bless him, he's tired. Look, it's 1:30 Sunday morning, fam. Oh my days, what a legend. Let's get Matthew in Sheffield on and I'm going to read you some comments. So that gives you an indication. All right, and I did write that after only being awake for an hour. After taking my queen to work at 5 a.m. So roughly 5:30, 6 a.m. that was written for your, comparisons there. Bless him. Let's see if Sheffield's awake or if I'm going to wake up brother Matthew. Who knows? I'll try. I did say I'd call, and one thing does lead to another. Let's hope he's on the go. Here we go. God love him. Yes, Lisa. Chippy, Paul, Quinn. We're trying Matthew in Sheffield now, alright. Just me and
This is the Vodafone voice.
Oh, do. Alright, we'll go again. Midnight cast, come on, where is the power? The soldiers are sleeping. Have I woke you up? Have I woke you up there?
No one's awake.
It sounds like a wake up. All right then. You want to have a chat on Tube? We are rolling. I think you might have some words you might want to say to the scribes. I thought I'd give you a chance to express yourself, brother.
I don't know. There was something to say. Note to be done. Or something to be done. Note to say. But I don't know. There's always some weirdness. Where to start? There's stuff you see in a day.
What have you seen? Have you got anything to report, to review, or craziness? Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. You protect your eyes.
I'll start with the most recent. I went into one of the food profiteering markets. The super food profiteering markets. A business that over periods of decades encourage people to become reliant upon them. Then in times of pandemic panic and such things, turn around and make out like they're helping people. But yet, still charging them money at the till. Anyway, that's by the by. So I walked in, right, and you normally have these things called baskets. You may be familiar if you've ever been to a supermarket before. They have baskets and trolleys. Yeah, and I felt when I walked in there like it was the first time I'd ever been, like I must have been an alien or something. Oh, it's Brian from another planet, look.
And the gentleman said, "Hiya, there's baskets there and trolleys there." And I just thought, fuck me. So, sorry for swearing.
No, it's all right. Crack on.
I just thought we're doomed. I thought, has he been told to say that? So I just gave him a little bit of bafflingness. And I thought, here, I'll get you. And I said, excuse me, pal, do you know air system in this building, in this essentially large box, in this warehouse, is it a circulatory one? Does it recycle, like, suck up air and pump it back out, suck up air, pump it back out? And he was like, I'm not sure. I said, I reckon it might be. Does any of that air pass over a UVC bulb? You know, and he was like, what? I said, there's some water purification systems and some air purification systems pass the air over a UVC bulb to sterilise of any stuff, you know. And he was like, I'm not sure. I goes, oh, it's not alright. It's alright for me. I'm just nipping in and getting some stuff. And in 8 hours, you've got to do an 8-hour shift in here. I'd find out if I were you. It might be pertinent to your health. Because if somebody's sneezing or coughing on aisle 3 and that's sucking it up and pumping it out to aisle 27, your 2-metre rule's just gone right shit out at window, hasn't it, really?
It's just a joke, and we're not even scientists or chief scientists or academics that have studied it. We're just noticing, aren't we? And what we're noticing is massive holes in the story, in the backtracking. And may I just say that if we're worried about these access points and the amount of food and items that man's buying, I was looking through some feeds the other day, and somebody posed a very good point. Why the hell don't they just take away trolleys and only issue baskets and say, once your basket's full, you get to the checkout, you know, and it would manage a lot better than, you know, the ones that can, you know, go in and take lots of things, items of, and then them having to be told to put them back because they filled up a trolley. Well, you know, I was like, wow, this is just, you know, what we're seeing and hearing, like you've just said then.
That would have affected profits, David. Are you fucking crazy? I mean, are you crazy? What would the shareholders say?
There'd be shitstorm there, wouldn't there, lad? So, yeah.
This is about money, this is about health. About money. Health. What's it about, this?
I don't know, but are you going? Everybody can go back to work soon, and mandatory wear a mask, and everything will be fine. But what about the eyeballs? When somebody sneezes and these particulates of whatever disease there that may be about are hovering, what about your eye? You know, you got your mask on, bruv, and you know, it's laughable, isn't it? It really is like a bunch of monkeys have been given in the form of Boris and Trump a job which they're ill-equipped and not even adequate to perform, and yet there they are doing said job.
He should be redundant. He should be out of job. He's got his missus that were up north contaminated with the disease. He was advising the nation on how not to get. Then apparently he got it.
Shaking hands. They were out there shaking hands at the beginning, like it wasn't.
No, how does he know where he got it? How does he know where he got it? How does he know it was shaking hands? How does he know a particle didn't hit him in the eye? Who's proven that he shook an hand? And whose hand did he shake then?
That's why I said about the eyes. Yeah, I'm aware of that. I just know he was on TV.
Okay, then if he got it from shaking hands, whose hands has he got? Because they're on about tracking and tracing everybody that's been contaminated, in touch with anybody. You've got your coronavirus, you've got the, Force Vaccine Act. I don't know what technical term is, what they called it, but 27th of April, they revised it. It can take everything from your home. Heirlooms, family heirlooms.
The B system that's coming in there, I reckon. 06, 06
painting. That's why I used to bang on about Venus Project so much, because people won't know what to do. People will just go along with it. People will just, there's healthy people there's people that are jogging, Dave. Proper healthy people that are fit as a fiddle, as they say. And they're like running out into the road, and they're like dodging and avoiding each other. I'm like, you shouldn't be frightened. You should have a great immune system. But this is the logic in a money system. Oh, there's a pandemic and we want to stop the thing. Yeah, we'll fine people. So basically, poor people's movements have been restricted through the fine. But fair enough, if it's applicable to your earnings. So if you're like 80 quid to somebody that can afford like an 800 quid car is quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I've seen people driving about in like proper supercars and stuff. It's like, is that what you go to the supermarket in? What essential fucking, if you can afford a Ferrari or whatever booyaka car it is, you know, you can afford to stay at home, exercise at home, because I bet your house, I bet your yard's massive. You know what I mean? You can afford to have internet shopping dropped off. Why are you out? But no. So again, it's rich people that can. Oh no, it's all right. They've got a lot of access points and a lot of money, so they can go out and spread a disease that's threatening mankind. Because they can afford to pay the fine. Oh my God!
Fixed
this
penalty.
is logic.
Fixed penalty
It's
notifications.
It's
Yeah.
the best they can do. It's the best they can do. You know, I saw it on the internet earlier. One of the NHS trusts mobile hospitals for 55 grand. Why are they selling that? Surely they'd need it. And here's one for the riddle me this. If
Yeah.
they can afford to pay, 80% of everybody's wages, all self-employed, all people working, plus all benefit system that's already existing and was signing on before. You know, if they can afford to pay all that, why weren't they building hospitals? You got to ask yourself these questions.
Austerity.
Am I fucking
Skins.
standing outside on a Thursday night clapping?
Yeah.
That don't do shit. You clap outside somebody's room that's dying of something, yeah, and you see how much that clapping brings them back to life. You know, medical equipment, medical technology is what's needed. Investment in what is important is what is needed. You know that 30% of the, it's cold in England, isn't it? People put electric on, put central heating on. It's cold. Ooh. Oh fucking hell! What's that? It's bill. Got to pay for that energy we use because it's privatised. It's not nationalised. It's not. We don't really know it.
It was nationalised, but then it got privatised, brother.
You get
Yeah.
proper bum raping fucking prices. Well, 30% of our coldness and what we pay for being cold to heat ourselves, keep us warm, goes to a communist regime. It goes to the CCP. You know what I mean? CCP's funded by, you know what I mean? It's got being best friends with Rockefeller Foundation, with people with money. And then you got communism, it's communism, and their communism were funded by money, started by money. They've been running many different experiments with the people on all different levels. Communism, you got China, how they did it. And now they're willing and they're wanting to lock it all up into one consolidation. You know, this is how they do it. They can bring it through the virus. Because nobody can stop it. It doesn't matter how much fucking law you know. It doesn't matter how much fucking thing it. You know, the state and the machine and the state and the police are a tool, and what the police are told to do, they will do. But they're telling people that, you know, right, we need to rip this fucker out of his house. Wolf. Yeah, we're going to burn all this shit.
Agents do that. Agents of Satan are after me at the minute. The .com, the videos, the publications, the freedom of speech, the technology, the nanotech, the stuff in the air. You know, the lack of aeroplanes that we've seen in the sky and the quality of whatnot. Yeah, and people.
I've seen shitloads of aeroplanes.
I've
seen. That's what I mean. They've not stopped coming.
Well, I've seen different, and others have seen different around the world. You can
no,
speak for you.
they've slacked it off a bit because they can't have them all flying through air.
I've noticed a nice difference in the sky, and others have too, with the lack of air.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, but they are still coming though, because I've seen it early morning.
Yeah, I've seen some. It hasn't stopped. I just said, it's different.
Oh no, it calmed down, right? It calmed right down, because obviously people.
Could we say it's different or not? Yeah.
People would ask questions, wouldn't they? They'd be forced to calm it down. Because I said to it, and somebody went, well, it's cargo, isn't it? Because most of the cargo comes in containers. What cargo's that? And why's it got a big fucking chemtrail on it and all? You know what I mean? But, yeah, I've seen them. Because was the other day. I watched Beautiful. It was right nice, unkempt, and I just saw carrying it. And then I watched it because I'm working outside. I watched it, how the effect of it. I said to one bloke, "Look at that." And then a bit later, I went, "Look how wide that is now." And I went, "Fucking hell, you're right there." Because just look how wide it is. I said, "That's how wide it is with it." Do you know what I mean? But how wide is that? So how wide is that? That's like 20 miles wide now, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, I haven't passed any trigonometry 101 classes, but I can tell you that's spread out quite a lot.
Yeah, it's common sense, isn't it? What we use, a lot of it's common sense.
Distance, isn't it? Look at distance, how far away it is and how wide it is. So if it were here, it would be covering the entire ground, but yeah, you can zoom in. But yeah, what else is that? Some
Put a bit of music on as well, yeah. I've been doing some jungle all the way through. Not just because you've come on, just I put some music on.
Oh my goodness, I thought some youth had just walked past.
Yeah, DJ Hype, give it a funk. 6 million ways to die. We're not going to die, we're going to live. Yes, I. Yeah.
But,
You're right there. We've had a lot. We've said quite a bit already before on videos, and nothing new under the sun. Man has rights. There are rules and there are laws, and it doesn't matter.
You don't have rights. You have privileges. In the world we live in, you have privileges.
But if you express and testify, you can only do so much to an empire of control and doom, one that ignores, rights and the creator is given, whether you're Christian, Catholic, Buddha, Dharma, Brahma, Vishnu, Muslim, all of the religions. I'm not of a religion, I'm of a faith, and I have a faith that says that I will accept conditionally and require proofs. If it goes against my faith, we've got international covenants and political human rights there. We've got religions and we've got men of faith. There are certain men out there, women and men, that don't have faith, they don't know anything, and they follow a cult, and that's generally, in some kind of religious format. Then there are ones with faith and ones that stand up. I've got some emails to just touch upon.
It don't matter what your faith is, it's just, in my opinion, it don't matter what religions are.
That's why we're here.
No, I'm saying I don't care what religion people are, or if they don't believe in a religion, if they do believe in a religion, or if they don't, but what God they believe in. But apart from the knob jockeys that currently occupy, that currently bow to the Satan, they sell their souls for what they get here.
Well, they get blackmailed, don't they? They go to parties and they do things, and they sell their souls, and they do all sorts for money and sex and gates.
They're the ones that run us because they're power hungry, but no, you've just got to, you can't. It's just, I don't know. People should just I can't explain it well enough, or I can, but I'm just repeating someone else's words. I just refer to Jack Fresco. You should look up all his works and listen to all his, you know what I mean? There's probably, I don't know how many hours, because there's a 2-hour lecture there, 2-hour lecture there, and some of them are mostly the same, but then you get a bit something else that it's not, you know what I mean? It's another thing, because it's just stupidity the way I don't know. My elbow's swollen up because I've just done too much graft on it. Yeah, I don't want to be grafting for pennies and avoiding, paying for paedophiles. You know what I mean? That's why I work in the job that I work in. Because I could go and work anywhere. I could go and work anywhere. I choose not to. I'm not slating anybody that doesn't. But I make choices, and it makes my life harder. But so be it. Do you know what I mean?
Action and reaction. Every action was a reaction, brother. Choices.
I'm poorer monetarily. I'm poorer because of it.
Yeah,
I work for shit money. You know what I mean? I don't claim any fucking benefits.
You don't
the sacrifices that I'm making, I could be doing a 7.5 ton flying about, probably earning, 700 quid a week. But I'm not like a knobhead. But hey, I'm living for what's next. So Look what happens here.
People out there that
Pardon-
not much
pardon
at all.
me.
There's refugees and there's starvation. There's
That's
Africa
why-
and India and there's all kinds
That's
of
why
political
when
torment.
I'm forced when I'm forced to be when I'm being vaccinated by force, I'm going to class that as an all-out declaration of war.
There it is.
Because the sovereign territory that is my flesh and blood that will have been invaded against my will. And my will is you know what I mean? Unless I'm causing harm, injury, loss to anyone, that is my will to decide what future and what happens to me. You know, if you just can't step to me to say, oh, we're going to force vaccinate you. Why? Because you let people with fucking money build labs and fucking communist fucking dictatorships. You fund them. You know what I mean? You go, France is supposed to be a democracy, going out and building a fucking P4 fucking biolab, you know, for fucking China, and then going, oh, I think they might make bioweapons. You just built them a bioweapon facility. Why would you not think they'd be making fucking pissing about anything that is dangerous to mankind and is a biological fucking thing is a bioweapon, you pricks. Why are you letting these fuck about? You know, everyone's got into bed with communist China, built them up, outsourcing work. All nations have outsourced work to communist China because they abuse their people and treat them shit. And you know what I mean? And everyone were happy with that. They sold their own people down the river, closing factories, manufacturing plants, sending it overseas, you know, so Chinese people can get abused because there was big business wants to make a fucking buck. China's then fucking recolonizing Africa because it needs resources and shit like that. Yeah, it's just a fucking joke. Incidentally, I reckon Africa will be the place where World War III gets kicked off on, because they won't be able to go and invade China, and they won't want to go and invade America. It'll be too dirty, so they'll both will all have to fight. And Africa, well, nobody gives a fuck about Africa. We're always raping it anyway. You know, let's just have a fight over there. So they'll use that. They'll make out that like trying to secure resources, and because that's the end of the day where most of the shit comes from. You know what I mean, resource-wise. So I reckon
They make everything,
that'll be battleground.
We had,
all under guise of Chinese will tell their people that they're helping black people, Africans, and fucking our knobheads will tell us that we're helping Africans, but saving Africans from Chinese. People that fucked the Africans are going to try and save the Africans from the Chinese from fucking them.
I remember it, Chris. Yeah, I agree to some extent there with what you said, and 90% there. I can't argue with that. And I'd like to draw everyone's attention to China that was in the news in November 19, December 19. There was uprising. I speak for Reuters, Euronews, and a few other channels that aren't mainstream owned. I know they're all allegedly from one or two places. I'm not here to argue that, but I saw on some select channels, and I know some of you would have seen that too, that they weren't happy. There was a lot of ones out there with masks on, not because of a virus, but because they didn't want to breathe pepper spray. And if they were seen out protesting, the codes were they got shot and they got dealt with. Rubber bullets, cannons, and etc. They had more or less the army out on the street when they were out. And what were they protesting about? Well, it turns out that if you go on a media network and you're in Asia there and you put something wrong about the government, or like what we're doing now, you got a little mark. And eventually these little marks, added up, and you can't get on an aeroplane, or you couldn't go, and you got restricted within your rights. And they went out and they said, enough. We're going to come out, even though you're saying we can't, because the equivalent is our children, assets, young stars have got nothing to grow up for, to look forward to. And all of a sudden, in the new year, we suddenly have, I'm not making any claims, I'm letting you know my comparisons to shit was going off, and they went out to say we're not having it, and then all of a sudden we got sick, and there was technologies involved, and now there's well, here we are. Over to you.
It's just they've been running the program. China's been developed. The reason why China's been built up by the West and by everybody else, all these nations outsourcing their manufacturing to them, been built them up, and then because then, like I said, we're all globally running under different systems, which is in actual fact under the same fucking system. But people like to think it's not. It's under the money system, worldwide, global money system. That's what communism is under. That's what fascism was under. That's what fucking corporate fucking fascist fascism is under. It's what democracy is under. It's all run by the same shit. So they let one who treats its people bad, like communism, get big and do all this, implement all this technology, and then they release this virus, and you can do this experiment is to see, should I say, how the virus experiment is to see how people will react being told the same thing. Think about what's happened. People in different countries, dictatorships, fucking like countries run by mainly this religion or that religion. You know, all the different countries, all the peoples of all them different countries have all been told what to do, and they're seeing how people are reacting. Oh, look at this to this. They all react the same. They can't protest. They can't do it because everyone will say you're jeopardising everybody else because you've got the herd mentality. Hey, don't fuck about it, girl. You know, like somebody rocking a boat when you're on thing and you're a bit scared of water. Do you know what I mean? Girl, stop rocking it. We might fall in. I can't swim.
Yeah.
Girl, you fuckers. You know what I mean? So nobody can sail, and everyone has to fall in line. This is why it's just so beautiful what you've done, and that's why it's whatever happens to us, it's the greed of man, and we will suffer the consequences.
The ignorance to some extent, and greed.
For making decisions on behalf of people that's not been born yet, fucking a world of it for people that's not been born yet. You know, everything. You know, people don't want Venus Project. They don't want a moneyless society. They don't want this. They don't want automation. You know, when you're born into a world where you get all the technology that already exists free happening around you. Do you know what I mean? There were loads of technology, especially people in wax, you know, that protected you from getting diseases, you know, and kept you around.
Everybody's equal, yeah. Access,
you know,
service, profits.
Profits for all. It's profits for none. Service for all. It's like all these. Nobody should be making a profit out of this. Nobody should be allowed to be an NHS trustee and have any interest in anything. Is that a dog barking?
DJ Hype, scratching, that's right, scratching in a dog bark. May I go into Public Health Records, England, 1839?
Don't know, just distracted by that. Go on Public Health.
Public Health Records, England, 1839. Mandatory vaccines for smallpox. Get the shot or go to jail. When we say those who do not remember history are forced to repeat it. I repeat that sentence. From Public Health Records of England of 1839, there was mandatory vaccinations there for smallpox. Get the shot. I am going to finish this and then I'll let you speak, brother. Get the shot or go to jail. The vaccine increased smallpox exponentially. It took until 1940, motherfucking 8, okay, for people, man, standing up, saying no. The mandatory vaccine law was finally abolished. All right, you can check this out. I'll give you it again. I'm going to put it in the chat room. This comes from Sister Nonna. Big love to you. 109 years. 109. Now it seems
they keep trying it
again.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm going to put a link in for you and give you evidence from public records. I'm not making
it claim. I'm
not DJ hyping it up. I've got the man here playing some tunes from back in the day from one of my first major raves. Started off with a nice tune and we just
got some kind of sponsorship.
No, I'm not. No sponsorship. I'm just playing some tunes. He's one of my favourite DJs. He's a creator, and you know, it's all equal and open. It's my musical interlude and my passion there. Much more evidence.
But yeah, they did it in the 50s. They've done it repeatedly.
Of vaccines,
infected the population to try and get them to take a vaccine. They do it repeatedly. They did it in 50s. Like I said, they sprayed the black population.
No more music. There we go. If you don't want it anymore.
Swine flu, pandemic. No, you put whatever you want.
No, I don't want to upset you any more than I already clearly have done by what we've gone off. So we'll talk privately.
What are you talking about, Willis? What are you talking about, Willis?
That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm
I
talking
didn't say
about.
that. I was talking, and then next minute I could hear the dog barking. I just got distracted.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I understand.
I went angry.
I'm not angry. I say we'll talk later then. That's not a problem, brother. I just want to get some key information in for these family members that are vulnerable, confused and angry. Not necessarily the scribes here and now, but
actually, it might distract people if they're watching and all, because their ears will be trying to pick up the words that's coming out of your mouth, and out in the background you've got something else.
Yeah, thanks for the concern, there, brother. Thanks.
It's probably like
beautiful.
I'm just talking to you on the phone, so I can't see you, but it's probably like if you were. If I don't know if your screen's blank or not.
The title of the video is
If people were looking at you and you were speaking to them about stuff and you were doing like...
The video title, Destination Doom, MCs, Dispelling Disaster, Delivering Desire. We had an MC theme on last week and music and whatnot, and it went down rather well. So there wasn't any music played, but it was in the title, and I said to Kev, we'll start with some bits and some beats and go on with the hype. There's a lot of hype and hysteria on at the minute, and I started off with one of my favourite DJ sets, that one of the first major raves that I went to, which is a hero of mine, like Jack Fresco, Nikola Tesla, and many that we've mentioned over the times, and it was just a theme, and it's now stopped, and it won't be continued, I assure you, brother. Thank you for that. And I'm gonna...
Well, I feel bad now. You're making me feel...
No, it's all good. It's all good. No, don't feel bad. Feel with your hands. That's what I do. Hey.
Feel bad now. Should just stop and pause and have a little have a tune minute. You should have a tune, couple of minutes. Just have pause, have a couple of minutes tune, and then go back to Gavin. Like that, Mark.
I can't win whatever I do, it seems. So yeah, I'm getting attacked by the agents of Satan. My website's getting attacked. The channel's getting attacked. Man's getting attacked. But we stand proud. I'm wearing a T-shirt here that you gave me, which has got the you printed it and gave me that about assisting a corporation.
Yeah, the thing that I can't never remember.
I've got a theme here as well going off. I'm doing it out of love and respect for you, for all, and I don't mind bending and flexing and trying to please everybody. But let me tell you now.
No, you don't need to please me. That's what I only talk about Venus Project. Cause,
all right.
No, I mean that. I mean that. You don't need to please me.
I've got Satan riding on me and the agents of Satan right now. You and your comments, and this is small fry compared to what is happening in the realm, what is potentially happening.
Pander to anybody.
Yeah. Don't you worry,
my brother. Pander to anybody. Everybody should always be careful and wary.
I'm not a panda pop. I'm a lion.
Of what the just everything. But now I talk about Venus Project because it's the only fucking thing that I've seen that can drag us out of this shit and create a world, like he says, everybody would live better than the richest mofos that are living now. How old the Queenie is living, how the Sultan of Brunei is living, how the Billy Gates, and the Richard Branson, the Elon Crust, all these people, people that live better than they do now,
Yeah, agreed.
You've got a world that is it's just the greed of man. You cannot have anything that will not be corrupted. If money is involved in it, it will go to shit. It's as simple as that.
Whether that be a government, the pursuit of money is the root of all evil.
A business, an idea, do you know what I mean? It'll all go to shit.
Here comes law. We've seen law and courts become profitable. They call it law, but it's not law. It's an administrative business where they trick you. It becomes questionable.
As soon as money is introduced into the equation, it becomes questionable. People will question it because it's questionable.
Profits.
That's what happens when you bring money in.
I'd say money and profits, vested interest.
I watched him one other day and he said...
Matt Hancock and what he's got a vested interest in at the minute is quite interesting.
Yeah, well, yes. Like what he said in 1920s when Great Depression happened, yeah, there were a surplus, there were too many lawyers, and they would literally chase, that's why they call them lawyers and solicitors, ambulance chasers. They would chase misery to try and make some money. If they saw somebody slip over, they'd say,
Didn't they run out of inches? Didn't they something about running out of inches, did you tell me? They couldn't do anything because they ran out of inches and money and credits and fields and space. But all that stuff
No,
is still
Fresco
there.
didn't say that.
No,
Alan
you
Watts
said
said that. No,
Oh.
Alan Watts said it. But I thought, I wonder if Alan Watts had thinking of a new Fresco. I don't know. But
Possibly.
I just, yeah, he says about it.
No,
It's
Watts
like,
was before. Oh no, there were no, it's not.
No, it's
Because
Alan
Fresco
Watts
died-
speaking.
Yeah, that's right.
It's Alan Watts speaking on the subject of money. And he says it's the equivalent, you know, he basically said the same as what Fresco says, is you don't need money, you know. It's a false illusion. It's a false. Put it this way, like he says, if you land on a fucking island and there's no food there, no fucking, sorry for effing, there's no food there, there is no means of getting food, well, you know, water, it's not arable, so you can't grow out. Probably a bad analogy, or I'm hashing it up, but that's why you should go and check him out yourselves, you lazy bleeders.
They will do. They're not lazy. That's why they're
I'm
here at
joking.
2 o'clock
I'm
in
only
the morning.
joking.
We've said
I'm
this
only
before,
joking.
you know.
I'm only joking. If they can't take a joke, well, they shouldn't just go and watch Peter Case. But yeah. So yeah, if you've got gold and diamonds and $50 billion in a suitcase, it ain't gonna do you out. You know, it's people are the resource, the only resource on this planet, because it's somebody that will design a machine that will save your life.
Energy, humans
It's
are
not
energy.
the machine
Man's
itself.
energy. Yeah,
It's
resource.
the people that design it.
Yeah.
It all comes from inside somebody's mind.
energy.
Anything that's not green and dirt and natural plant or animal is coming from somebody's mind. And most of the technology that happens around it does just happen around people. All technology you get when you're born into this world, you get it all for free. What's been invented, you know what I mean? But there shouldn't be any patents. It's the idea of patents, and I did that, and that's my idea. You know, that gets people, that's got us to this stage. It's a product of greed, again, from money system. So if you've got an idea for a machine and you just put it out there, some other people come and take it, patent it, and then claim it as theirs. You can't prove that you did it first, then you're up shit creek and they're billionaires.
Open
You know what I
source.
mean?
We like open
But
source.
all you
yeah.
wanted to, well, you're not up shit creek because you're not that nasty person because you just put it out there anyway. You know what I mean?
What we're doing on the video, yeah.
And it's happened plenty of times in the past. People have been ripped off, but yeah, there shouldn't be any patents and nothing like that. So when one country develops some new technology, it gets sent all around the world instantly, straight away. Check this out, what we've done, and we did it like this. And then some other country goes, there you go, have a look at that. And if you want to know about democracy, this is quite right what Fresco says. He says you have the leader of your country. Patriotism is just bullshit. You know, he says,
Shut up.
you'd have the leader of your country talk for an hour and a half about this other country's leader, and then you'd invite that other country's leader on to talk for an hour and a half, and then a leader from another country would come on and say they're both full of fucking shit.
Turns out that Menzies in the Nightingale Mega Hospital in London might actually be registered at Finchley Road. Okay then.
Oh, that's
Talking of money, this is the thread you're on, brother, that's promoted the man to come back with that. All about invested interests and profits there, yeah? Finchley Road, is it 998 or some 898 to 900, where there's so many thousands of businesses in politicians' names? You're right, you're sparking...
No, I don't mind. They've just... I saw a newspaper front page and it said something about poor people are more likely to die of coronavirus. I thought, no.
And black poor people apparently now as well. I'm not to be, darker skinned family all around the
well,
world.
anybody poor is poor. It doesn't matter what
No.
colour skin it is.
They've actually said genetically in America the darker skinned family represent a certain percent of the population, but yet the ones that
I'd
are
say
having
that's
more.
some kind of eugenicist shit because black people are the original people. In my belief,
Off you go. Finish it for me.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that. That's
go.
some eugenicist shit. There's
Yeah,
always
that's
somebody
where I was
saying
going.
that
It's not
somebody's
myth,
inferior
it's
to
real.
another.
It's real
If
shit,
anything, I'd
brother.
say it's the opposite way around. I'd say it's the
I'm
opposite
telling you
right
what's
now.
happening. I don't need you to say. I'm telling you what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, no,
What
I know you were
they've
telling me
released.
something, and I was just responding to it.
Yeah, I know.
I'm responding to
I
you.
didn't get it
on a
out.
bit.
I didn't finish it though to give you the facts of the matter.
Oh, I didn't.
you've-
Sorry, I thought
now
you'd.
it's finished.
Go.
It's gone. You carry on, lad. You carry on.
No, I thought you had finished.
Don't think. Listen. No. Don't. No. No. The things. Let me
Who
finish.
said that then? I'll ask you a question. Who said that?
What's that?
That what you just said? Who said it?
Who said what? I don't know where we are. I'm looking for something else.
About
I've
black
moved on.
people. Black people are more susceptible. I said poor people. Apparently,
Have a research. Have a look. I'll let you research it and find out for yourself, and you'll find out. Anybody that's interested.
Why are you being
in
defensive? I
eugenics.
just asked you. I was just saying about the newspaper thing where it said
I tried to tell you, but you
biggest
butted
belief
in.
because it says poor people are more likely to get coronavirus.
I can't be bothered, fam. I really can't. I'm turning my phone off. I'm not in a good mood with this man. And he's come on. I've tried to tell him to come on and be polite and to be courteous. He may well not speak to me for some time, but that's a risk I'm going to take. I'm not going to have an embarrassing cast. You see how me and Kev go and how it goes there and what go on. We're here to help, and I'm here to do a job. Matthew's got a bee in his bonnet. You can judge. I'm not going to judge. I'm just going to tell you I'm not happy with the way the cast is going. We are in control here at this end, and I don't wish to embarrass ourselves further with vexation, malice and hostility from a man that I've known 30 odd years and I love and respect as a brother. He's had a bad time with the ex passing, unexpectedly dropping to the kitchen floor in front of the family members, and that I give him space for that. But we're here to do a job, and we need solidarity, we need unity, and we need love, and that's clearly not being shown tonight. And we've had a pre-show agreement that he would come on after me telling him that the scribes have sent emails about the way that he is and how he speaks, and the manners and the art of conversation. I want to get a job done, and we're gonna watch this clock go round unnecessarily minutes. Yeah, I was up at 4:30 this morning. I'm very tired. I'm sucking on an electronic piece of crap full of chemicals because of the amount of calls that I'm making, what I'm trying to do. Arlas and me are very strong and good, and I wish me and Matthew had that relationship like I do with you and Kev. I don't know what the problem is, and I will try to work that out. I'm being attacked by agents of Satan. I'm uncertain about what's going off, and I'm not in a good mood myself, but I'm here presenting and sacrificing, and I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart for this, but it's real life. We're all locked down. It appears man's killing his woman because he can't cope. Embarrassing again after what our forefathers have fought for. We can't, sit in a room with our blood and assets and queens without drinking too much alcohol or smoking too much shit or not having out to smoke and not having any money, and so we're taking it out like that, but in a worse way on ones that we should be, what's that new thing that they've brought out? In it together. We're not in it together, they're in it together, collecting the profits, which is leading to this kind of friction and devise when we should be, I am going to make sure that those that are doubtful and skeptical will be saved along with the rest of us. There's some great prolific things that I could say biblically wise, but I won't. What I will say is that I've got something to read here before we go. I've put some good links in there from the email side of things, and the sister Nonna has given me some heads up there. Music is not coming back on. I don't really think now I'm in the mood for that, but I've explained the reasons why and the links and the tediousnesses of that. That's all fine. I just want to read this declaration that I found by a brother that's handwritten. I did meet this man visually, through vocally, sorry, not visually, and I've met him today, added him on Facebook. The first name given, a calling, that would be, yes, Curtis, and last clan name is Kallenbach, Kallenbach, and he's written something which has been put on Facebook, so it's not private, and he's respectedly added my request, my person's request, Sovereign Jeremita, on the Book of Faces. And I heard him say the zygote and the conceptional stage, the arc, the SP arc, and how man is created, soul is created, life. And there's a handwritten declaration here that I've got, shared it onto SPLS Pro, so I'm going to read you. I'm not stealing it, I'm sharing it, all right? I'm not even angry about these claims. I'm loving the claims, because if I'm getting attacked, it means I'm doing something right, and we're annoying people that have been in the game a long time, that go on about Bradbury pounds and this, that, the other, that haven't had the inclination to do the types of things that we're on with, and we're the underdogs, and they've been in it long time. So just listen to this for a declaration. I, as spirit, am compelled by faith and reason to authorize this holistic declaration. Just because I'm reading this doesn't mean to say that I support and agree with everything, but I'd like to discuss it further and get this man on a podcast with me and Kev, or a few of us, and then air it and premiere it. One's mortal genesis, fertilization, is in full accordance with the laws of nature and nature's God. One's mortal vessel manifests at the genesis of a singular zygotic original package within the womb, and terminates with one's last breath as a spiritless vessel beyond the womb, evolving throughout. It's a lovely sentiment what is written. And I, as spirit, am prior to the manifestation of one's mortal vessel. Yeah, think about that one. I agree that. Continue to exist here now as sole occupant of one's mortal vessel. I can see somebody in Derby writing this down and changing some notices. Aid, how are we doing, brother? So will exist, the mortal vessel will exist after the demise, the spirit will exist after the demise of one's mortal vessel. I, as spirit, am owner with absolute dominion over the entirety of one's mortal vessel, from its genesis as well as its life, time and energy, production of property, be it intellectual, physical, genetic, or otherwise. I, as spirit, am in direct communion with one's Father, and require no middleman, for such a conception is repugnant to the laws of nature and nature's God. So that's on the lines of, knowing yourself and expression. Handwritten, there is a reason why you would autonomously write something as an author and give it authority, author, autonomous, and autograph. I like that a lot. And there's as far as I've said before this has come up, I've said that there are proclamations and declarations and notices that man can do, whereas other mans there say that it doesn't matter what you do, you're damned. Well, that's not the theme I want for tonight. That's not very positive. He's got some good, lovely, intelligent, articulate comments, but I don't think we're going to see many of them tonight from Brother Matthew. And I believe me and him need to have a chat and render what's left of this relationship. There is an issue there, it's apparent, and we will, with God's help, overcome that. So I have put in this post that I've shared of Kurt's to be discussed on tonight's podcast, SPLs and YouTube. Have we got any comments there that I can read out? Has anyone said anything? No, just me in SPLS Pro on Facebook. So you'll find that there. I've shared that. He knows I've shared it. He's recently added me, and I found him on Crow 777 channel when I heard Crow say the name, because you don't see anything on Crow. He has a screenshot up, doesn't he, of the chat number and you've just purely got to listen. Like we had before, the reintroduction of the video and the clock, the muted screen. And I'd like to play you something else which is copyright free, which is in my history now. I'm going to give you the link as well, because I promised to them that I would share this. And then I'm going to go to the comments, and then I'm going to shut down and go to bed, because I am absolutely gone, alright, in more ways than one. I'll close the Facebook, and we're going to go to my history. And living like a, all I can think is it's called living like a homeless. It's not called that. And I'm going to get you the lady, I think she's called Vix, that emailed me and let me know what music they do and where it is. So I'd like to share that with you. And at times of stress and times of you know, anxiety, I think we could all do it. We're taking a piece out and doing a bit of meditation, turning off the news, focusing, writing something by hand, and getting to know yourself. So it's incredible, the abilities that we have that we don't know we have. And if you don't know you have rights, then you have no rights at all, you know. So that's not me saying that, that's a maxim, you know. Oh, this is the lady that makes so much sense. We're going to have a joke first, and then we're going to have some music, and then I'm going to have a wee. We need to read the comments. So much to do, so little time. But it's for those of you that are here now, let's have a listen to our sister. I don't know who she is. This is Unscrambled channel. All right, Karen won't mind me sharing this. I'll give you the link so she gets some more views. All right. Bless. You only need the audio. All right. You only really need the audio. But I'll hold it here for you. I'm going to post you the link. The rules. So you're going to go over some rules.
For any reason, unless of course you have a reason, and then you may leave the house. All stores are closed except those that are open, and all stores must close unless, of course, they need to stay open. This virus is deadly, but don't be afraid of it. It can only kill people who are vulnerable and also those who are not vulnerable. We should stay locked down until the virus stops infecting people, and it will only stop infecting people if enough of us get infected that we build immunity. So it is very important that we get infected and also do not get infected. Do not go to the doctor's office or the hospital unless you have to go there. Unless, of course, you are too sick to go there. This virus has no effect on children except for those children in which it affects. It's for 2 hours or 4 hours or 6 hours, but in most cases it's days and not hours, and it needs a damp environment or a cold environment that is warm and dry in the air. Unless the air is plastic. Schools are closed, so you need to homeschool your children unless you can send them to school because you are not home. If you are at home, you can school your children using various portals and online classrooms unless you have poor internet, more than one child, only one computer, or you are working from home. Baking cakes can be considered math, science, or art. If you are home educating, you can include household chores within their education curriculum. And if you are home educating, you may start drinking at approximately 10 a.m. every day.
What?
If you are not home educating children, you may also start drinking at approximately 10 a.m.
Alcoholism.
Masks are useless at protecting you against the virus, but you still need to wear one because it can save lives. And in some cases, it may even be mandatory, but also maybe not. You must not go to work, but you can get another job, at which point you may go to work. Stay home.
Yeah.
I don't know how many more celebrities we need to have tell you how important it is to go outside and take care of your mental health. There's no shortage of groceries in the supermarket. There are simply many things missing. You don't need to go buy a bunch of toilet paper, but you should buy some in case you need it. If you are sick, you may go out once you are better, but those in your household, they cannot go out once you are better unless, of course, they need to go out. Animals are not affected by the virus, except for that cat that tested positive in Belgium in February, plus a couple tigers. The number of corona-related deaths will be announced daily, but we don't know how many people are infected because we were only testing those who are almost dead to determine if that's what they will die of. People who die of corona who are not counted won't or will be counted, but maybe not. To help protect yourself during these times, you should be eating well and exercising, but exercising will be eating what you have at home to avoid going to the stores unless you need toilet paper or a fence paper.
Rastafari.
Don't go to parks, but do go walk in other places. Just don't sit down. Unless you are old or pregnant, But if you do sit down, don't sit for too long. Unless you are old and you are pregnant, in which case you need to sit down. If you do sit down, don't eat unless you've had a long walk, which you're allowed to do if you are old or pregnant, except for times in which you aren't. Don't visit old people. But you have a moral obligation to take care of old people and bring them food and medicine. And finally, no businesses will go down due to coronavirus except those businesses that go down due to COVID-19. I hope this cleared up any questions about what we should and should not be doing during this time. Please educate your friends and family with this information so we can remove any and all confusion surrounding this time. Thank you.
You've got the link in there. I'll just put the link in for you, alright? And let me find one more musical interlude for you. You don't need to look at that electronic device. Well, there's me and Anders. We've got a premiere coming up tomorrow of Anders and I. That is taken a while, so thank you, brother Anders, if you're on the replay and you get this. I'm now going to find, that was I think Sister Karen that's brought us that. I'm going to find you a track. I'm going to put the link in and I'm going to play it as well. So if you just bear with me, I'll put it like that so you can see. Let's get rid of that. And then I'll get you the link in. And I've taken you out your cradle. Who do you love? And who loves you? Come on. It's coming up. We're getting there. Pastor Cutchy on the left hand side. Musical Youth I was listening to. Who remembers them? I know I can search my history, but I can't remember what the track is, except Homeless or Living, and I searched and it didn't come up, so I'm going to read your comments, don't worry. Wow, I'm going to have to do a history search. No, it's not there, it's playing me around. I'm sure it had Homeless in it. Come on. Technology's great when I can use it properly. I don't realise I've locked so many homeless videos and lots coming up there. I've put Living in. I'm sorry about this, my fam. It's just messing me around. I've got it in an email. Let me look into. My emails are shut down and my computer's running hot, so I did post it on my Facebook profile, and I have put it on the .com, so you will find it there. I do generally find everything I'm looking for, but that lady, if you could tell me who she was or where she's from, you've got the link there, and I'd be interested to have a chat and see that we found conflicting information in the beginning with the chief scientific and medical officers and what the Prime Minister and the presidents were saying, what was happening around the rest of the realm, what Sweden was doing, what we was being advised under specialist advice there, the lack of equipment and how long it took to get to the front line, and just the prices and things that have gone on. It's badly managed again. Austerity leaving us in these kind of conditions. So I see the signal's getting weak there. Let's put you there. Stay there, fam. If there wasn't so much austerity, then I dare say that we wouldn't be in this state, and Jeremy Hunt coming on and saying his bits, is very well and good, but I just give up on some of it. I've watched a lot of videos, is what it is. It's not that anybody's playing games here. I just didn't realise I've watched a lot of videos since I've watched that music video, but it's a very good, unique, original track that I want to promote, that's all. So I've got lots of Montauk stuff, Al Bielik projects, and Anunnaki. No, I can't find it now. There's a big playlist there. I'll have to go. I'll read your comments and I'll get to. Oh, it's on the YouTube. It's on my comments on the community. 1 minute. I know a quicker way to get it here. And then we're going to say ciao after some comments. All right. Thank you all very much for joining and for your time. What that lady said there was pretty much spot on. If any of you left confused, you know, that's not a laughing matter. The mixed and lack of efforts and messages, concise leadership or direction, structure. I thought we'd share that, and thank you to Unscrambled, Sister Karen. That's a beaut. It really is. Contract, contact or catch. Born under mother's contractions, do you agree to the terms? It's on the back of what I've written, found and written and posted on the back of what we've heard tonight so far. Disease and virus. I'd like you to check these key words above, meaning, definitions and applied uses. To contract a disease means to catch or acquire an illness through the exposure to a contagious pathogen. One may also contract a disease that is non-communicable, such as cancer. Contract a disease, contract, okay, yes, is a verbal phrase, a verb phrase, sorry. Related terms are contracts a disease, contracted a disease, contracting a disease. The word contract is derived from the Latin word contractus, which means to draw together. Do you feel me? Yes. Legal maxim: if the plaintiff does not prove his case, then the defendant is absolved. There's a lot of Latin on the community pages that I've got for you there. Rights being property. Genesis chapter and verse 1, 26 to 28, KJV 28. I don't know, I've gone 26 and I'm not quoted that correctly, but and God blessed them, and God said to them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. The value of goods and services can only be the human input, mental and physical, which cannot be taken from any human without their free will. Legal maxim: it is against equity for free men not to have free disposal of their own property. Yes. These are just some interesting posts that I've put in, and some scary pictures there of, I hope you can't see that, no, it's not coming up, but you don't need to see that at this time. These are about agents, Elizabeth and Gary featuring on there, you'll see. They're not the only agents of Satan that are after me, but the devil in many forms. Here we go, I'm going to get there for this music. It is worth it, I promise you. I have tried to fill the gaps, but things are disappearing, they're hard to find, connections are getting cut off. Let's have a look. No, it's all gone. I can't think. I did put it on and shared and said peace, not love. So I'll get to your comments. I'll get to my profile up that I manage on behalf of Sovereign Jeremita, and I'll get at you from there. As I read your comments, I'll wait for that profile to load. I'm going to say goodbye. Alright. Yeah, let me get it so I can see. Live chat. And thank you very much for joining. I hope you've been entertained. If you found it enlightening, a thumb up. Thank you to the 26 that are in the house now. Yes, the clock is gone. What? You're feeling naked now. I think wires crossed and tired minds, blessed be, brother. Oh, I need to reload. 1 minute. We're behind. Yeah, that's all right, Jerry. I'll just cut that comment in. Always peace and love. Yes, indeed it is. It's all good. I'm not in a very good mood and state. I'm extremely tired. Been up a long time. That's not anybody's fault but my own. And yeah, we will come back again and remedy the situation. It's not a problem. Alright. 2:33. My goodness. Here we go, and that's loading. So it's this time in the morning, everything's pretty slow. Me especially.